let's see what this little guy can do. This one's about 6 inches thick. Let's see. All right. Oh, Jesus. Christ. There you go. That took about, what, 30 seconds maybe? Now the trick is on that, you know, you're just going to rip through this battery, or will it hold up for a while? But that makes easy work of things. I like it. So here we got Fire 101. First thing you always want to do is build a little raft. Right? Just think of a little wooden raft. So that way your fire that you're building on top of the raft can get convection, and as it's burning, it's going to burn down into this raft, these pieces of wood, and they're going to catch on fire and give you coals, right? So that one, this is all just stuff. Somebody made this, which is great because now I know that this is a dispersed site. That's kind of the rule. If there's a fire ring up and the sheriff or the forest ranger, if they haven't destroyed it yet, it's kind of fair game. And we're not in any kind of high risk fire. I mean, right now, you know, it goes from green to red, and we're in the green because it's been raining, snowing. Anyway, so I've got my little raft. You just saw I cut up some pieces. I may split them down, and then I've just got some little twigs and stuff. You know, I cheat, so I'm just gonna take some newspaper, some of these smaller twigs that are dry, snap, crackle, pop, right? What we're looking for is, hear that? Snap, crackle, pop. Doesn't do that, you're wasting your time. I'll let you hear it up close. That's my rule. Snap, crackle, pop. There you go. So, like I said, I cheat, right? So I'm gonna put some newspaper down that's probably wet by now, and some gasolina, and we'll get it torched, right? Bonfire. I'm walking around looking for kindling, and so here you can see this is, you know, look at that color. That's green. So you're just wasting your time, see? No snap, crackle, pop. What we want to do, ideally, is be looking for stuff that's up in the trees, right? That's decent. Not great, but pretty good. But you always want to look up. Okay, so you want to go into an area that's thicker, and we're looking for branches that have fallen and that are hanging up in the trees because they're drying out. Ooh, there's a nice piece right there. See that? Look at that guy. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see. Look at these little babies. Yeah, see, that's nice. Snap, crackle, pop, but look at that guy. Oh, he's a big boy, but I could cut it. So yeah, if you're always looking up, because then it's hanging and it's drying out, even in the rain and the snow and everything, it's up there and it's getting, you know, convection, right? So like this piece. Oh, Jesus. I'm on a little mountain here in Birkenstocks. Not a good idea. Okay, so, you know, say this is our piece and it fell and it lands like this in the tree. Well, there it hangs. And so even in the rain and the everything, it's getting convection, air. It's drying out. Versus if it's, you know, on the cold, damp ground covered in snow, it's getting soaked. So that's a trick. Always look up. So here we are, our branch. It's snapping crackle pop. I can tell it's a little damp. It's not getting that complete pop that I want. But it'll be enough to give me some kindling, right? Yeah, you give all this stuff another couple weeks once this heat comes. So that's a good little thing of kindling. But yeah, in a couple weeks, this stuff will be bone dry. Then it becomes, you know, a problem because it's just waiting to explode. So I'm doing my part by getting rid of some of it. So one of the biggest parts of the fire is just taking the time to prep everything, okay? So it means building your raft, okay? Going out there and sourcing dry kindling that's gonna go up, okay? Then finding some rounds like these. Okay, you saw I found this on the side of the road, brought it back, I cut it. Now I can split these, but you don't really need to. But we want to get to this heartwood here in the center. And if you touch it, you can tell if it's moist. So this is pretty dry. Should be good to go, but you know, it's also the proximity, okay? So I know that I've got my raft here. To my left, I've got my kindling. To my right, I'm gonna bring all these close into the fire so they can dry out around the edges. Right? There's no sense in having them sitting 20 feet away because you want to take advantage of all the heat, right? It's coming off this fire. So you want to put them in around. If they're extremely dry, you got to watch out because they'll catch and they'll start on fire. But you want to be drying out your wood. Everything is planning ahead, right? You want to use this resource, which is your fire, to create more fire. Get it? So we've got this heat source. Well, we want to take advantage of that and dry out this wood because it's coming next. But it's really all about just planning, you know, mapping it out. This is going to be here. You know, I know that I'm going to put the paper down, put this. It all depends too on how we're doing it. Like I said, I'm cheating. I'm going to build this and pour some gasoline on it and chuck a match on it, maybe a ferrocerium rod spark, and it's going to go up. You can see how I'm in the shade now. I can see the sun to the horizon, and it's, you know, 1, 2, 3. It's 3 hours, give or take, right, by the hand, until sunset, which I know is true because I know what time it is. You can see over there, there's my sun. So I keep, you know, moving. That's why these little chairs are great, because I can just pick that little chair up and go sit in the sun over there. The sun is setting, and you always want to take advantage of that sunset because that's going to give you a free, you know, navigational bearing. Because we know that in the northern hemisphere, the sun sets in the western sky. So I know that that's the western sky. See the sun? Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's if I can block it out. So I know that that's dead west. That means that that's east. That means that that's north. That's south. So if I put that together, I could draw myself a little, you know, stick arrow on the ground pointing north, let's say. But it just so happens that if you look at my van, and we know that, you know, the sun's setting over there in the western sky, that means that my van is basically pointing north. And I know that's true because I can see Mount Hood. So, you know, you want to make whatever. You can, you know, pick an object or you can make it yourself. I'll show you. So I know that's north. So I can come and get some sticks and make an arrow. But, you know, this arrow could be tripped over in the middle of the night, so you could just come back and take a stick. All right. Make that arrow. All right, so now I've got an arrow, and that's north. right? And I could even make an N. All right, north. And just like that, the sun has gone down. So that means that I sound the alarm, right, for my campers. And that means it's time to put on our cold weather night clothes, basically, our pajamas. Because I can tell you in the 5 minutes since that sun isn't on me, I feel the cold. So I know exactly where I need to go. I put my stuff right here, right? It's all here. So the first thing I do, you know, it's not like it's rocket science. It's just that it's all in one place. And that's the key. So I get these leggings on, right? I've already got my wool sweater on, so we're good. Put on my Ryobi pants. Because like I said, the minute that sun's gone, I'm cold. Get my Ryobis on. Okay. I like it. I've already got my hat. My hat would have been right here also. That's my beer. My scarf. Got my nice heavy synthetic jacket. And you can, do the math on the time that this is taking. It's taking, 1 minute. And I've got my heavy wool socks that I'll change back into these darn toughs that I love. And I have my headlamp, that was there, right? And that goes on. Get it ready, right? We're ready to rock. This headlamp is important, trust me, Miriam. And there you go. So the whole point of that exercise is that at sundown, boom, let's change. Because the minute that sun isn't on your body, you're gonna feel it. And I don't want to be scrambling and looking for my stuff. Where's my socks? Oh, where's my scarf? Where's my jacket? Oh, did I put that in here? Unzipping bags. And guess what? The sun's going down. The sun, now you're racing. Now you're not panicked, but it's awkward and it's, right? So if you just put it all in one place and watch for that sun going down, it's gonna be much easier. I want to talk to you today about socks, and specifically Darn Tough Vermont socks. Now, if you know me, you know I've been dealing with cold feet my entire life, and I've tried everything. A friend told me about the Darn Tough. I've been wearing them every day for 6 months, and I love them. What's also incredible is that they have a lifetime guarantee that you get a hole in them, they'll send you a new pair. You try them, you don't like them, they'll give you your money back. They're also made in Vermont, USA. So you know I love supporting United States-made products. If you go to darntough.com and you use my code, I do receive a small portion of that sale. So go to darntough.com. At checkout, use the discount code that you find in my description below. If you don't like them, you can return them, but I can pretty much guarantee you're going to love them like I do. Another thing you want to get in the habit of doing, you got your shovel, somebody's getting out of line, you want to make sure that you got the shovel ready to go, right? You've already dug the grave. But not that kind of grave. You're basically digging a toilet. Because if you got to go to the bathroom and it's raining and it's cold and whatever's happening, you don't want to be out here in the cold and rain digging a hole so you can go to the bathroom. So dig it before. If you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. Before you leave, you just cover it back up. But don't get caught trying to dig it in the rain and cold. My little camp chair makes everything easy. These original socks that I've been having on all day, so they're always going to be a little damp just because you're sweating, right? So I get those off because now I'm going to hang those up so they dry. And And then tomorrow, they're good to go. Plus, this is the thicker, darn tough. All right, there we go. All right, let's see what's for supper. Got Mountain House. Okay, what do I got? I've actually got a bunch of them. I've got biscuits and gravy, or creamy macaroni and cheese. I think I'm gonna go creamy macaroni and cheese. Biscuits and gravy, I love this one, but I think I'd like to save it for breakfast. And I've got my beautiful fire maple, which is like a generic jet boil. And I got this little stand. If you've got these, definitely get one of these. It changes everything because it, it's little feet. Love this thing. Here I've got my 2-quart U.S. military canteen. That's good. Woo! Lift off. This is nice and secure in here. Now you cook inside your vehicle at your own risk. I've done this a billion times. I'm watching everything. And I'm aware where things are. I know the flames here. But definitely if you're cooking inside your vehicle, you gotta be very careful. Because all it takes is one mistake and, like this, So, gotta be careful. Because I've seen some sad ones where the people died inside of RVs out in the desert. 2 separate incidents. Both people in 2 separate RVs burned up. They died. You gotta be careful. I learned this from somebody, but I always rip these things and just keep this attached to it. I don't rip it all the way off because now it's easy cleanup, right? You rip it off, it blows away in the wind, you gotta chase it. And then the other thing, how many of these have I eaten? Right, these little saline, the little bags, keep fresh bags. I've never eaten one, but many, many times I've prepared it, put it in the water, and then I'm eating, and we're gonna go, oh, it's never hurt me. And another tip is don't be holding it with your bare hand like this, because it'll burn you. Watch that steam. And this thing is so tight as a unit, I just pour the whole thing in. So now we just let it sit for 10 minutes while we're waiting for that mountain house to set up. One thing I didn't mention was, just like setting up the Alamo and having your clothing ready, well, your sleep system, it's different for me because I'm in this van, so I live in the van, so I can just climb in and I'm good to go. But I did, double check. So I've got my military sleep system. I've got my Ryobi. I've got my wool blanket that's up there. Everything's out. So it's ready for me to literally jump in and go to sleep right now. If it starts dumping, I'm in here. And the other part of that is you want to keep your base camp tight. Okay? If you can see this, everything I have is right here. Right? I'm ready to go. I can be in there within a minute, right? I don't have stuff scattered all over, right? So I don't have things up there at a little place where I'm sitting in the sun. You could leave them there, but you have to understand that if it starts dumping rain and wind, they may not be there and they may be soaking wet. So it's important to keep everything tight. Does that make sense? Tight little camps. You don't want stuff spread out. I want it right here. Right now I can get in there and I'm safe and secure along with all my gear. Clean up on aisle 3. Look at my mountain house. It like exploded. Meaning that I had too much hot water in there. It's the only way I can think of it. Because it just popped open on its own. So the steam, the pressure must have built up. Too much hot water, too much steam, and it... So we know we would not want to be putting this into the bottom of a sleeping bag or on your body to try and warm yourself up. you know, maybe an emergency, but you can see that just popped, and that's a mess. Any kind of spills, just like in life, you know, any kind of spills are a pain, but it's more of a pain when you're camping because you can't just run over to the sink and wash something off. Make sense? Up here, when it gets like this, now it gets on my hands here, and then I try and touch the phone, and now it's on the phone, and then I touch the door handle, and it spreads. Whoa, mosquito. Well, let's see. That's good, but yeah, I put too much water in it. So it's kind of just like a, what would you call it? Not a mush, but it diluted it. But it's super hot. And I'm very grateful for food, so obviously I'm gonna eat it. I'll just drink it like a soup. Got my little garbage bag here. And I'll show you a trick that I learned a long time ago. So I wiped down my spoon, okay? This is apple cider vinegar. It can be white vinegar, any kind of vinegar. So I've wiped down the spoon. I've removed any kind of, you know, debris on it. And you simply just spray it with apple cider vinegar or white vinegar, any kind of vinegar. And it will be good to go. Now, you can look it up. Some people say it's an old wives' tale and that, you know, it's gonna make you sick, that there's bacteria on here and that doesn't clean anything. I looked it up, I researched it. It's been used for documented, you know, hundreds of years, probably thousands. The only thing I can tell you is that if you're living in the van, after a while you're using it on, you know, your pots, pans, everything. And your van definitely, you start to smell like a salad. Also, I don't know if you know, but apple cider vinegar, if you've ever got heartburn, right? You're going, oh God, you think you're having a heart attack, but it's just in your chest. And you go for the Tums, and then the Pepsid AC, and then the maximum strength Rolade, and you're just packing everything in, and you're begging for it to pop because it's hurting, and you're literally like gonna call 911. The natural way, apple cider vinegar. Now I've grown up with it, so I take it, I drink it straight. But basically, you make yourself a shot, and boom, boom, boom. Maybe 1, 2, 3 shots. You'll just explode. The apple cider vinegar gets in there, and that gas is just, and it's gone. It's the most incredible relief. In my opinion, it works way better than the Tums and all the over-the-counter stuff for me. Apple cider vinegar. Okay, I'm gonna make this fire just for you. Because the truth is, I don't really even make fires anymore. I'll make them if I'm teaching how to build a fire and maintain it and such. Or if somebody came to visit me to sit around the campfire, you know. But the truth is, I'm not really making fires. I'm in the van, and you know, if you're relying on a fire for your heat all night, then you've got serious problems. Because that's not what a fire's really for. It's to cook your food, disinfect, maybe keep the critters away, safety, but and the stuff I do where I go, you know, if I'm working and stuff, there's no fires. So anyway, it's also been a year since I've started a campfire. So let's do it. It's fun. I still love it. I'm just saying I don't really make fires anymore. So you see here I've got the secret sauce. I'm trying not to get any gasoline on me because it's nothing worse than gasoline on you. You're trying to live inside of a small little van. Should do the trick. Now what I'm going to do, what you don't want to do ever, is take your Bic lighter, put it to the fire that you just poured gasoline and hit it, because that's a quick way to, you know, for me to lose my beard or for you to be seriously injured. So what you do is you make a little kamikaze. That's what I call them. Just got some chapstick here and a paper towel. Just want to make sure it takes. So I'm just putting basically, you know, chapstick is just petroleum, it's oil. Almost any beauty product is oil. So now I can take this, light it, throw it in there. That's the kamikaze. And the most important thing is you want this gas can way far away from this fire. I'm going to put it here behind the camera, 20 feet away. All right. I'm also going to check which way the wind's going. So if it was a, you know, megaton bomb, I can feel the winds coming from the west. So I'm going to get over here, toss it in. You ready? Now this petroleum should help. But again, it's so damp up here. All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So you can see how that took off. So that's very dangerous. You do not want to be anywhere near that. You want to be upwind when you throw the, you know, fireball into it. And you definitely don't want to be sparking it with, you know, any kind of a lighter. I've had some bad experiences. I'm very fortunate. I don't even know how I had the fire go back into a gas can that I was holding one time when I was younger. The whole thing just exploded. Nothing. I think I burnt some hair on my hands and stuff. So there we go. That'll take. It'll be fun. Like I said, I haven't had just the heat of the fire and the sound of it. It'll take a while for that gasoline smell to burn off, but should be good. That top log you see on there, I took from my little log chest, my log garage. So that thing's, I know it's a year old. I bet it's older than that. Dry as bone. So I'm hoping that that'll just take off. But we'll see. Might as well get everybody in the party. What is beautiful instantly, the gasoline smell's almost gone. I can smell it and the sound. I'm gonna move the camera up there. Just that crackling is so magical. Oh, that is so beautiful. I miss that smell so much. The smell of the campfire, the smell of the wood. Look at that. That doesn't even look real in this camera, and I don't have any kind of a filter on here. But just that smell and that crackling. I mean, is there anything more beautiful than that? I love campfires and camping. They go hand in hand, but it's just the energy that it takes to do it, and what are you using it for? Like I was saying earlier, you know, it's not to try and warm yourself through the night using a fire is extremely difficult, takes a ton of energy. You've got to stack up 20 times more wood than you think you're going to need, and you're only sleeping at 1 hour intervals. because it's going to burn, and then you got to get up and stoke it and put another piece on. So if you've heard people tell you that, obviously it can be done. It's been done billions of times throughout history, and it'll save your life if that's what you need to do. But again, what did I call it? Smoothing it. You saw I've got a little jet boil, But what's important is to keep your skills up. So I don't know if on this trip, but not today, but later, I'll get out, I'll make some feather sticks. You got to, just stay fresh. Use your ferrocerium rod and such. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I think it's 9 o'clock right now. So the sun is still up. It's bright up here. And I'm pretty sure that the sign said we were at 3,000 feet. So that's going to be it. I'm going to watch this fire for a while and wait till it gets dark, and I'll be out. Z. Let's see how close I can get. Oh, that was pretty close. Pretty close, bunny.